So I would suggest to men and women, stop having sex. As I said at the end of the last video, start thinking about what it means to get to know someone without the genitals being involved at all, right? But involving all the future children you could create, making a beast with two backs. And what kind of world you're going to bring them into. If you put all the thought that it would take not to put a toaster in the bath while you're in there to produce a child, because it was all so electrical and satisfying. You just were attracted to them. It was destiny. And I've talked to men and women who talk about meeting each other like it's just meant to be. We're just unavoidably attracted. If your characters on TV, there's no doubt about it. I'm attracted to you. I definitely love you a lot. Because my vagina gets moist whenever I think about you. And that proves love. Right? Vaginal secretions, proof of God's love right there. I've got it in this little container. I secreted so much last night. That's 13 milliliters of love. You know what I'm saying? Right? Do you see that? That's love right there. You should open the Bible and just find this container. Everyone would be well. So, just like men, women's hormones tell them things about you. Right? Right? There are women who don't want to have sex with me, but they definitely get my consent in more than I want to give whenever they come up to me and they want to talk. So I get rid of them. Right? And you can test these types of relationships. And they're narcissists, and they've just been following their compulsions their whole life. And they've never known anybody. And they'll never know anything about you. Right? They're not exactly rocket scientists. I mean, just imagine how much information there is about me as a person who wrote 2 novels by the time he was 19 or 20 years old. Right? About family and about all kinds of human issues. Without even thinking about it. Printing it out with his dot matrix Tandy 1000, you know, in 1992, 1993. You know, someone who still remembers some of the first prose he ever wrote. The glories he bounds from revelation to revelation. Stopping to reflect upon his own brief history. Able to look at a thought and transform into old cities and civilizations. Such activity upon a mere speck in the vast infinity that lay beyond. Who writes that? Right? Right? Why did that come out of me? What is that? That's not just a fragment of writing. It's not just a paragraph. That's a kind of mind that I have, and that I had as one of my past lives. That someone concerned with the vast subjects of the human condition. That someone for whom religion is like junk food. It's junk food for the mind. The Catholic Church is junk food. All visual entertainment and documentaries are junk food. All of YouTube is junk food. It's nothing. Squeeze it all into a tiny substance, and my excrement would be more valuable. So would yours. It's nothing. There's nothing to be learned on the internet except whether or not you have a serious disease. If you have discharge out of your ass. That's the only thing it's good for. Right? Everything's true. Assassination. People who have to kill each other. An assignation. Murder and a murder. maybe not huge up, but franchises. They're all important. They've all been important people. They've got perfect dental care with super white teeth because they go to the fashionable dentists, things like that. All these things, all these things, to be well, hard is to transform every and any aspect of your life, even to how bleached your house will become. Someone could look at your ass and go, wow, that's a wealthy woman. That's someone that knows what an anal bleach. You see it in the smile on their face. They get pubic electrolysis every 3 months so they can have a vacation in Jamaica. The guy they like at the bar, homosexual he is, appreciates it as you sit there with your legs sprawled open, with your Daniel Steele novels played over your ample bosom, having expelled so much milk or lactic acid and the like over the years that now they just lay there like two deflated zeppelins after the curse of Eve. Endless, Chardonnay daiquiris. Alcohol is no doubt a part of their lives. It's unmistakable. You can mark any income bracket, and rich people like to drink. It's a really big thing they like to do is they have alcohol around. They always do. Just like, male characters and female characters in 1950s TV shows. All around alcohol. They got an alcohol cabinet. You come to their house, there's always a few beer in the garage. They always keep alcohol. It's the lubricant in the car that is their business existence. It's the lubricant of their business relationship. Bars, restaurants, things like that. It loosens lips, it loosens inhibitions. It heightens the grip. It opens a landscape for the sportsmanship of words, qualities, salesmanship, one-upmanship, aggression, territoriality. Right? Because people need to be controlled. They need to be led to that better place that that they'd be better off with your medical supplies. Because you get paid to do that. In fact, almost every job is that of a religious harlot. A minister of the faith. You never work for a company, but you have total loyalty to it. And that loyalty will be tested because every company needs whatever it sells. Right? Everything's right. And if nothing else, it's a racket for the government. Because to have anything to do with them is to get a criminal pool of energy that tints everything that you do. You meet people who are retired teachers and they're like complete sociopaths. It doesn't matter to touch the child. It's just that they've traded in the currency of human innocence and obedience for so many years. It doesn't matter what they tell themselves. They just seem like a retired elementary school teacher. He seemed like he just crawled out the back of a panel van and wanted to send me a selling bag. Instead, he was selling me on a master's thesis he wrote 25 years ago that says that children turn into people who can't think that way anymore. Because that's not reality. And the reason the world has problems is because some people just don't grow up enough. And they still want to think in that magical way. That is only for that infant cradle period before civilization gets its hooks into you and turns you and saves you from the terrible thing of being able to be possessed of that mind for the rest of your days. And even the sufficient father in order to think that it has any usefulness at all. Because the two kind of go together. There's no point in having full brain function, because who wants to just stick around and feel what that feels like? Which is what I do for a living. I stick around and feel what it's like to have your parents sucked out by some kind of vacuum cleaner for the human spirit. Right? And every book from Rome to everything else is sucked clean of anything that seems to really what you fucking are as the flesh and blood of the sun itself. Every fucking thing is that it attacks your fucking ass and pervert anything like the voice that man is born with, like a fuck against the biggest fucking stone in the world. You ripped a limb off the fucking tree of life and smacked it against a boulder. has warmed up. It's Sunday. It's nice. Balls are ripe for the stroking. Look, I'm sorry for all the negativity. I see that I'm not so embroiled in it, and I imagine myself to be what I could easily be imagined to be, just a deep, dark, awfully diseased human being, right? But just like you live in a sick world. You process it. You might feel parts of it. You've got a way of attributing various things that are a little unseemly about the mask of man, but you're not completely possessed by it. Just because you get a little impurity in your brain, you turn into a lead-footed freak who needs to fucking blast another human body because you had too much in your own blood. You're not a crazy person, right? You can feel, you can talk, understand that YouTube is a lot of things to a lot of people. But to me, that's it. I'm making no other claims. Sounds come out of my mouth. They seem to be helpful to me. I know that's a little less than probably what I'm imparting, and it may be more